Welcome back to another episode of Guardian Angler. I am your host, Billy Burt. I am so excited to be here in Wisconsin fishing with you guys. In today's episode, I want it to be a little different than some stuff that I've been showing you guys. Instead of actually just going out and fishing, I want to teach you guys a little something about one of my favorite rigs, the Wacky Rig. Now, the Wacky Rig is an extremely simple rig. All it is a hook and a stick bait. There's specific hooks made for wacky rigging, although I'm not a huge fan of them. The Wacky Rigs by Gamakatsu are probably my favorite if I'm going to use a wacky rig hook, but I typically like to use flipping hooks, just for the fact of the matter is that hook is pushed way back in there, so when it's sitting in that bait, you're going to have a better hookup, as well as you've got these little catches over here, so when the bait slides up, when you set the hook, you're not going to be losing a ton of baits. Now, my favorite stick bait to use with it, it's the Ditty stick, just because it's a very soft plastic. It's got a very realistic look in the water. Its scents are great in it, and I feel like fish hold on to it a lot longer than they would any other kind of stick bait. Typically, when I do rig my baits, I won't do it dead center. I'll actually go probably 1/4 of an inch from the middle up and rig it that way. Notice it sits a little different instead of just being completely bent over. And what that does is it gives it a lot better of an action in the water. It'll slink to side a lot more than it typically would if it was just rigged through the center. Now, this bait is extremely useful in all kinds of conditions, although some of the best times to use it are when the bite is extremely finicky. When those fish aren't wanting to move a whole lot, this bait's really going to come into play really well, especially when you hit cold fronts in the middle of summer or a big storm comes in and cools down the water a lot, just things like that. It's a bait that'll really get their attention. It'll move slowly enough that it'll stay in the strike zone just long enough they'll come up and nail it. And let me just kind of show you guys what I'm talking about when I say this bait really slinks and it's a real subtle action. Let me get you guys underwater and put this bait in front of you. Now that you guys have seen what the bait looks like underwater, you heard a little bit about it, I want to tell you guys how to use it. Now, this is really, again, simple. You cast out the bait, wait, I would typically say 5 to 10 seconds, lift up on your rod, reel in your slack, repeat. Do that until it gets back into your boat. If you want to be a little more aggressive about it, you can switch it a little bit faster. If you want, you can they make Wacky Rig weights that you can put on the bottom of your hook. I don't use them. I don't like them because they kind of ruin the action of the Wacky Rig, so I'll never use them. If I'm doing anything to a Wacky Rig, I'll take a nail and push it in the head. That way when it hits the bottom, it's standing straight up, and it's now the Nico rig, which is a completely different rig. I'll talk about it some other time. But I don't like to use the weights just because it really does ruin the action. But you can if you want. Some people really like them. Some people swear by them. It's personal preference. If you want to fish that way, go for it by all means. And again, this bait, extremely simple. When you feel a fish, there's going to be two things that happen. A, you're going to feel them. B, you're going to see your line jump and it's going to start moving. Once that happens, just set the hook and you got them. This bait doesn't come through weeds real well because it is an exposed hook. You can get hooks that are specially made for weedless fishing of it. I don't like them because it kind of just ruins your hookup ratio with it. If I'm going to be worrying about fishing any kind of Senko or stick bait through weeds, I'm just going to set it up weightless style, which I'll talk about that probably in a different video if you guys want to see it, depending on how much you guys like this video. But go out there sometime, try this bait out, and I will show you right now what it looks like getting some action in on the Wacky Rig. And that is not a bad fish. And I just hit a pontoon behind me. Ooh, let me push off that boat real quick and I talk to you guys. A lot of things going wrong here. Okay, we'll get some slack out of that. There's that fish. Not a bad one at all. Definitely a good one to end things on. I'm very happy with that. But that is the Wacky Rig, guys. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's something different, something not a whole lot of people do. I've seen a couple videos like it, but this is something I definitely want to implement on the channel. I want this channel to be about teaching, not just going out and fishing. As you can see, that rig really can do some damage, especially when it's used properly or in the best conditions. This lake is not necessarily the best spot for a Wacky Rig, just for the fact of the matter is the Wacky Rig is a lot better in weedless conditions, and this lake is full of a lot of weeds. Ooh, getting acrobatic on us, huh, buddy? But it does still work here, and it will work in any lake you throw it in, especially if you were confident in it. And that is a bait that I am extremely confident in. I've caught a lot of fish off it, big and small, in every lake, in every condition. So next time you go out fishing, why don't you go ahead and give it a try? And if you like this video, guys, please go down, hit that like button, comment down below other videos you want to see of me breaking down some different baits or different rigs. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. That is extremely important on this channel. If you want to continue to receive updates on when I post content, hit that subscribe button. There's a little bell that'll pop up next to it. Click that bell and you'll get notifications every time I upload. And as always, guys, go out there, rip some lips, run some drag, and fill your bag. I will catch all of you guys on the next episode.